Welcome to the Abundant Vision Fundraising Podcast. Whether you are a seasoned professional or a first-time fundraiser, we have the advice you need to take your next step toward major gift mastery. I'm your host, Tom Dauber, President of Abundant Vision Philanthropic Consulting. Last week's conversation was a blast. I'm so excited to have you with me for this next segment. Let's get back to the show. What you don't want to do, again, is to make assumptions that this is an individual that can only be solicited for a very specific project in a very specific way. Ask the question. Find out what they think. Don't leave anything to chance. Don't make assumptions. Be clear. And donors are going to feel honored when you ask them those questions. Even questions about, if they do want to give in a restricted way, well, what means the most to you? Like if you're in higher ed, is it student support? Is it faculty support? Is it research? Is it facilities? Most donors are going to have some type of opinion. I mean, if they are people that want to do restricted giving. And here's why that's helpful is, generally speaking, I've found that people are going to give more to something that they feel passionate about. And so if you're not dead set on a restricted gift and they have an opinion, you're just going to get a bigger gift for a thing that they care about versus a thing that they don't care about. Now, there's ways too, like, if you're only set up to unrestricted giving just to your general fund, what you do is you find out about the things they're passionate about, and that's the thing you talk about. And you can be clear that your gift will help support this type of work, but without making the promise that, well, it's only going to go for that sort of work. And you just need to be clear and honest and transparent with your donor about those sorts of things. But again, this pre-solicitation conversation should A, help you understand if they want to have a giving conversation. B, it should begin to help you understand, what type of gift they'd like to make and even what the range would be. I might say to someone, well, I don't know what type of range of gift you're looking to make. Obviously, you could make a gift as large as you wanted to. I could tell you what a $5 million gift is going to do. I could tell you what a $1 million gift could accomplish. I can tell you what a $100,000 gift is going to accomplish. I can tell you what a $10,000 gift is going to accomplish. I tend to talk about ranges of giving because this gives you some flexibility to work. I will ask donors, would you be interested in hearing what a six-figure gift could do for the organization? Would you be interested in hearing what a five-figure or a lot of donors, I'll say, would you like to see something in the 5 to 6 figures? Would you like to see something in the 4 to 5 figures? And the reason I do that is it gives you a lot of leeway. Obviously, what $100,000 can do for an organization is very different than what $1 million could do or $999,000 could do for an organization. And so I will lead with, the biggest thing I can within that range, but then have some step backs available if that's required. So if they tell me 6 figures, I'm going to be clear as to what a $900,000 gift, $950,000 gift could possibly do, with the understanding that they're likely going to want something smaller, and I will be prepared to talk about that. But I always lead large in the same way that Costco does. If you ever walk into a Costco, they've got their $3,000, $4,000 TVs right up front. And it's fairly well known that the reason they do that is they establish that baseline right off the bat as to what expensive is. So after seeing that $5,000 television, that $200, massive pack of steaks or whatever it is you're going to buy there, it doesn't seem like so much, right? It's a psychological game they're playing there. And we do the same thing in fundraising when we talk about really large numbers. Like I'm trying to raise, 600 million, right? Well, 600 million makes $1 million really just seem like not that much, or whatever your number is. But that's why big vision, clear vision really helps you in soliciting. Because I heard from somebody not too long ago. They had a donor come to them and offer them $3 million. And then immediately said, well, and what is your annual budget? And then the individual said, well, my annual budget is 3 million. And then they said, oh, well, we'll give you 1 million then. Right. Right. So you want to be able to talk about the big aspirational numbers, even beyond your budget. The right answer to that question, would have been, well, our annual budget is 3, but if we had more, here's the plans that we have to grow our work if we just had the right investment, right? So that's and those are all conversations that may come up in the context of a pre-solicitation conversation, right? So all these things help you keep your donors comfortable. Now, many people in their minds, they think to themselves, well, I don't want to have that conversation about money because that makes me feel icky. I'm afraid of rejection. You've got these psychological hangups to how, why, to different things that could go wrong. But it's so important to understand as a fundraiser, especially if you're a new fundraiser, being crystal clear with your intentions and even calling out elephants in the room on the front end is so helpful. Like maybe you have a donor and you find out they just started a 501c3 of their own. And you may assume as a fundraiser that, well, they're probably only going to want to give to their own nonprofit, right? Well, that's an assumption that you shouldn't make. Very few people in this world only give to one organization. But what you could do, and what I would recommend, is to say, you've started this nonprofit, and that's really awesome. A lot of folks out there might only give to their own nonprofit in this type of situation. Is that where you are? And just let them respond. Likelihood is they'll say no, but you don't know. Tom Dauber here for Abundant Vision Philanthropic Consulting. Fundraising can be hard work, and it can be hard to mentally get into the place you need to be in order to see new opportunities. Everyone struggles with it. We are like the fish in the fishbowl who just can't see the water they're swimming in. That's when having outside expertise comes in handy. For 25 years, I've been helping nonprofits analyze their challenges, discover new ways forward, and develop clear plans that lead to greater fundraising revenues. Now I am available to help your organization develop the abundant vision it needs to inspire new levels of philanthropy at your nonprofit as well. Check out abundantvision.net to start your journey toward greater fundraising success today. Now, back to the show. So again, pre-solicitation is so helpful because it clarifies all these questions that you have. It helps get rid of assumptions. It lets you call out those questions that you have, and it makes the donor comfortable because once they know where you're coming from and what your intentions are, it just takes the tension out of the room. And asking, again, those elephant in the room sorts of questions, it's fine because they're thinking about those things too. They want to know, are you going to ask them for something that's going to make them uncomfortable? Their defenses may be up. But once you have those conversations, you're going to help drop those defenses, and you're going to move from being someone really who might have been perceived as someone who's trying to get something out of them to someone who cares about them and is trying to help them do something that they're going to be proud of, something they're going to be excited about, something that's going to bring them joy. That's the transition you want to make as a fundraiser, is to go from the person that's there to ask to the person that's there to support and help, provide guidance for sure, to bring forward opportunities to give, yes, to ask, and to ask for large gifts and for specific numbers. I'm not going to take that away, right? But you don't want that to be the emphasis. You want the emphasis to be on being a partner with your donor, helping them accomplish things that they're going to be proud of, and feeling like you're in it together to make the world a better place. That's fundraising at its best. And the other great thing, I said it before about pre-soliciting, is that you're going to find that not only are your gifts going to get larger, your close rate is going to go up. Because you're never going to solicit the people that don't want to have those conversations. You're going to talk about giving. You're going to find out their attitudes towards it. And if it's negative, you're going to bless and release. You're going to hand them off to your alumni director or encourage them to be involved in whatever way they want to be, which may be not at all, right? And you're just going to avoid any unpleasant interaction altogether. And it's going to make life way more fun as a fundraiser because ultimately you're only going to be soliciting people, for the most part, that want to be solicited. Guys, do the pre-solicitation. I know it's going to take more time. It isn't just going out, meeting people, asking for money right off the bat. Now, I should add this caveat. There are going to be people that are ready to talk with you about a gift right now. And when you begin to pre-solicit, you may discover that this person is expecting you to ask them and wants to be asked right now. Maybe they've got a long history of giving to your organization. Maybe they love your organization. Maybe they were planning to give this year anyway. Maybe they're ready. Well, even though in a relational approach to giving, we don't tend to solicit on that first meeting, if someone is giving you all green lights and you're having these conversations and they're wanting to really make a gift and to talk about it, and some people are going to feel that way, just go right ahead. Don't feel like there's this rule that you can never solicit a gift the first time you meet someone. You can. You absolutely can if they're ready for it. And many donors, especially if you're doing major gift work, they know who you are. They're called on by other major gift donors or major gift officers, and they're expecting an ask. They're hoping for an ask in some cases. And so if they've agreed to meet with you in their mind, it's very possible that in their own mind, they've agreed basically to some level of giving. Now, don't assume that, like always, we don't want to assume, but please, by all means, test those waters. And if they're ready to move forward with them together. Yeah. Anyway, well, boy, this has been a great first year. I don't know if you've noticed, but we've actually last month just completed a full year of podcasts. And boy, I've learned so much. I've made some new friends. It's just an honor to be in a place of being able to engage with all of you all around the world. And that's been the most surprising thing. This show presently has listeners on every continent. And I'm pretty excited about that. My hope is that many of you will have had some success trying out the I talk about in major gifts. If you have, don't hesitate to email me, reach out, let me know how it's going. I'd love to hear from you. Heck, if you've got some things that you've done and tried and had success with, or even had some struggles with, I'd love to have you on the show. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for joining me on this journey to major gift mastery. Thank you for being a part of my life for the past year. I've loved it. We are going to slow down just a little bit. I'm moving to, posting new shows every other week rather than weekly. But boy, I'm sure enjoying this journey. And if you have questions, again, also let me know about those. And happy to take suggestions on show topics moving forward. But we do have an exciting year planned. I've got a fellow and a colleague lined up, an interview that you're going to just love coming up on plan giving. This individual is an expert in it. You're going to get so much wisdom, so much great advice, the sorts of things that as a consultant, it would probably cost you thousands of dollars to get these tips and advice from this fella. But you're going to love it. It's going to be a multi-part series to be sure, but it's going to put you in a position where you can really begin to start building a plan giving program at your organization and learn how to talk about those topics that, again, can sometimes be uncomfortable. And we've got a number of other great guests lined up as well. Anyway, look forward to a new year with all of you coming up here in less than 30 days. And I know many of you have your noses to the grindstone, trying to get those year-end gifts in. And so, good luck to all of you. I hope this is the best fundraising year you've had. Take care. Now, if you've enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star rating on your podcast provider. I'm your host, Tom Dauber. Thank you for joining me as we journey together towards major gift mastery on the Abundant Vision Fundraising Podcast.